Now, a quick word from our sponsors.
Don't forget to check out the Hockey Podcast Network's newest affiliate, NHLShop.com. That's right, the official NHL merchandise page. Right now, they're giving 20% off orders over $25 with code NHLICE25. Also, if you use our link that we're going to tweet out after this episode, you can help support us and the other hosts at the Hockey Podcast Network. The Hockey Podcast Network has also joined forces with Puffy Mattresses. They're not just any bed-in-a-bag company. These are America's most comfortable mattress, and right now you can get $300 off a new mattress plus a free king-size pillow. Plus, they offer a 101-night sleep trial, so if you're not satisfied with the mattress, you can return it no problem. Also, if you use our link, just like NHLShop.com, you can help support us and the other hosts at the Hockey Podcast Network.
This is the Hockey Podcast Network, your home for hockey talk on every team in the NHL.
Welcome to Offside by a Mile, the podcast for anything and everything Colorado Avalanche, and the official Avs podcast for the Hockey Podcast Network. Goalie-interference. That's the name of the game today this episode.
What is goalie-interference?
What is goalie-interference? Many may ask. I will try to explain. The NHL will try to make it clear as mud.
Yeah.
Jared and myself, Tyler, are in studio as usual.
Hello.
The Avs have now lost 3 straight.
Yeah.
The Avs have now been part of 3 straight winnable hockey games. One of those games is against the bad team. The other 2 are not.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be upset about them losing to Washington. On paper, just pre-game, you wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
On paper, you can't be surprised they lost to Tampa Bay.
Especially the way they've been playing lately.
Considering they were coming in on a 10-game winning streak.
Yeah.
That is now 11. The Avs did, however, get a point that
this is much needed, at least.
They may or may not have deserved.
Yeah, true enough.
Part of that game, probably 50 minutes of that game. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
10 minutes of that game? Fuck no, they didn't.
Yeah. That
mid-frame. Surprise, surprise. It's not like the Avs do that.
Yeah.
There was a quote, for whatever reason, I don't know, were you watching on cable TV or did you watch like a stream last night?
I was watching like a stream, yeah.
It was on Sportsnet, nationally televised.
Right, it was, yeah.
But we got the Lightning feed. So I watched the Lightning feed.
Okay.
Not great. Put it that way, put it lightly.
Yeah.
But there was a couple things that I liked. Quotes that I felt exactly the same way. After the second goal from Cameron Gaunce to put the Lightning up 2-1, the broadcaster, one of the guys on commentary, was pretty correct in saying, yeah, the Avs just fell asleep there for a bit. Yeah, that is a fair...
Yeah. That's accurate.
Is a fair description.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
Because that 16 seconds, and it wasn't 16 seconds, it was like a minute.
Yeah.
Total. They were awful.
Yep.
Awful.
For sure.
Pure and simple. The Killorn goal, awful. 5 guys. It's 5-on-5. All 5 guys staring at the puck. Killorn's wide open in the back door.
Yeah, that is absolutely classic. And it's like mind-boggling.
That's exactly what I put in our chat.
Yeah.
Classic.
Right.
That's it. That's all I tweet.
That's all you need to say.
And then by the time it's sent, it was 2-1. And it's just like, are you guys for real?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a bad time.
the Avs did a lot of good things in this game.
They did, especially the first period.
One thing that was pointed out on the Lightning broadcast was the fact that the Lightning couldn't win a goddamn faceoff.
Yeah.
61% of draws to the Avs. That's pretty solid.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bigger margin than it usually is.
Yeah. I guess I should preface this. I kind of did on last episode, but we're recording this prior to the Wednesday night game because by the time we got to get this episode in, it's too late after a late game like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're recording this on Tuesday while all the NHL players get traded before the deadline.
Right. Yeah, hopefully we don't miss something before tomorrow.
Tyler Toffoli, the pressing news, got traded to the Canucks.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty good trade for the Canucks, honestly.
We knew of Blake Coleman getting traded to the Lightning.
Yeah.
Who else got traded?
He wasn't
today?
playing last night. I guess he was his wife's having a baby, or I would assume wife. His significant other was having a baby.
He's probably not having a baby, so
yeah.
Yeah, so Blake Coleman traded, Brendan Dillon traded, Dylan DeMello traded.
DeMello, yeah.
Who else? Another forward that I'm missing.
So many names. I can't remember now.
Regardless, pretty much everyone but Chris Kreider so far.
Yeah. Especially
Basically.
for higher
Yeah.
kind of classed. Yeah.
So, I mean, hopefully that's the guy the Avs grab, because right before recording this, Adrian Dater tweeted that plan B for the Avs is Thomas Tatar. Please,
right.
God, no.
Yeah, we immediately
Please, no.
didn't like that idea.
I'm not a fan. He's a fine player, but I don't think he's worth the assets.
And I just don't necessarily think that's even, I don't know, is that like a legit thing we need? I don't know if that's the player that the Avs need. And I know that I saw people commenting like, "Oh, we need to acquire another scorer." Maybe at this point just because Rantanen's out, but he's not supposedly out for as long as
apparently
first
good news.
expected.
Apparently good news, because that, and
Yeah.
I was going to get to it, but we should just start there. That looked awful. That looked like a broken collarbone.
Oh, it did it. It looked so bad.
That looked like what Connor McDavid had happened, 3 years ago now?
Yeah.
Minus Brandon Manning laying on top of him.
Yeah.
That's it. That was like, it was only Rantanen's weight on him, which
Yeah.
it sucks. It was going to be a penalty. It's, I would never want to see that 5-minute major in NHL hockey, but in minor hockey where safety is priority, that is classified as a 5 because his trip caused him to get hurt. But it's one of those where you're just like, oh, it's such a dick move to trip him there.
Yeah, it kind of is, man. Like,
And you're just like,
I don't think very many people in the league or players would be happy with
Right.
that, right?
yeah, like, because that's all that was going to happen. You're going to trip him, he's going to fall, and he was going to smoke himself.
And he's
Just like that.
He's like already past the net pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Like it's he's not dangerous really anymore. It's like
So
that was
super
hurts.
unfortunate, sucked, especially considering when it happened.
And like, of course, he's just starting to get back to Mikko status, and it's
Rantanen,
rough.
Kadri, and Grubauer, all heating up, all get injured.
Yeah, and then Calvert's out as well. It's like, oh man.
The good news with Rantanen is it's not a broken collarbone, no broken bones in the X-rays.
Which is who
Pretty
knows
good.
what that means yet.
It's not necessarily the greatest news. Like, it might not be 3 weeks off. It might be 5 still.
Yeah.
But the good news about that is a 90% healthy shoulder can be helped.
Remedied in a
Can
way.
be remedied for the playoffs
Yeah.
if need be, if it's not going to do any more damage. A broken bone is a broken bone.
Yeah. You
You
gotta
can't
wait for
play
that
through a
shit.
broken collarbone.
Yeah.
You don't want to, right? Whether if it's a sore shoulder, you can play through it with some help. Not saying that I want to jeopardize Rantanen's future career on a 2-week playoff run.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it's longer than that, but
Yeah.
you never know. It's not worth it. It regardless, if it's anything but a Stanley Cup, it's not worth mortgaging the future on Rantanen's shoulder. It's not.
Yeah.
And you can't guarantee the cup, so it's hard. But doctors will tell them whether or not he can damage it further, and if he can't, then I guarantee you he's playing.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Anyway, back to the hockey game. We had plenty. The only thing we didn't have in this game was a goalie interference, no goal/goal call.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an eventful one.
There was a lot of discussion on Twitter during the broadcast, especially on my side of the broadcast, the Lightning side of the broadcast. Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'll give them some credit. They weren't incredibly homer about it. They didn't really mention the fact that McElhinney was going for an Oscar.
On the second one, yeah.
Even the first one. They're both there.
It's yeah.
But
sure.
they're both open to interpretation. And the problem with this is the NHL doesn't do a very good job with interpretation. You asked me after the first one. After Graves?
Yeah.
Graves makes a ill-advised drive to the net and ends up in the crease because that's the only place he could end up, and he ends up getting bumped into McElhinney.
Yeah.
McElhinney folds like a cheap suit, and the arm goes up in the air, and goal interference is called. Now, I saw a lot of Avs fans, a lot of Avs media that weren't a fan of this. Jared, you tweeted you were not a fan of this.
Yeah.
And then immediately asked what I thought of it.
Yeah.
I would call that goal interference every day of the week. Because Graves is only given one option, and that's the crease.
Yeah.
He puts himself in that, and you can't expect a defender to just let him stand there. He could have skated through the crease, because the defender's at the top of the crease.
Yeah.
Graves decides to stop in the crease.
Yeah, and trying to kind of get a rebound kind of thing going.
So now, you may be listening to this and you may be disagreeing, and this is why I say the NHL is bad with this. It's brutal with interpretation.
Yeah.
Because then you have the second one. The second one is was it Comfer?
Who is it actually? Yeah, it is Comfer. Yeah,
I almost said Calvert, even though he's hurt.
I know. I remember thinking yesterday, I'm like, watch Tyler call him Calvert.
Comfer, and again, before I go too crazy, I applaud. I'm never going to get mad at a guy for driving the net. That's where you score your goals. Graves does it, but he did it like a defenseman. He took an opportunity that wasn't there.
Yeah.
And
tried to force it a little too much, yeah.
Comfer's, on the other hand, is there.
It was epic.
It was a great drive to the net, and he smashes McElhinney. But he smashes McElhinney because he gets pushed from the back, and I can hear it already. You just said that that's a penalty because Graves. It happened to Graves. The difference is Matt Calvert. Oh my God!
There it is.
JT Comfer. He's got room. He has room at the front of the crease. He has a place to go, and that's where he was going.
Yeah.
But he gets pushed and drills McElhinney. Now, he also didn't drill McElhinney nearly as bad as it could have been.
And nearly as bad as it looked.
That too. He connects a lot, but I'm sure everybody who's not happy with this call has seen the view from the corner where you can see McElhinney throw at his elbow.
Yeah.
He throws his elbow. He actively makes himself bigger to make contact.
Yeah.
And the other thing with this too is you can get on McElhinney all you want about flopping and doing all this shit. A backup's job is to get his team points when he plays. He was playing well, and he took it upon himself to try and draw some penalties. Yep. You don't get very many chances to try and draw penalties as a goalie. He was trying to do his job. I don't fault him necessarily. It's not like he acted like he got shot in the ankle when he got hit in the head or something. Like,
yeah.
That was good contact still. It was really good contact.
He did hit him like right upper chest.
Like he gets him in the back shoulder, which definitely regardless of what you think he did after, and this my gripe, he's going flying. Period. the whole like landing on his head and like kind of like stalling out and then falling down, like that's garbage.
Like half backflip. Ah!
That's a dive. Just stop, man. Like just stop.
Yeah, that was embarrassing to watch. I was like, dude.
That's a Oscar nomination for sure.
Also, to your point, in a way though, and I thought about this after the game, thinking about other goalie interference calls that have happened, over the course of like the last 2 years, because there's been a lot of questionable ones, right?
Well, see,
and
that's where I'm getting, because the rule book on goalie interference penalties is so far and away different than goalie interference on goals.
Totally.
And this is where I'm going with my whole rant.
Yeah.
The other thing with goalie interference that I think needs to be pointed out, and it isn't actually in the NHL rulebook. I was looking. There's not really much. It just says if a player hits a goalie and whatever, the penalty can be assessed for goalie interference. The thing that is kind of, it's taught to referees, at least minor hockey refs, like I was taught this. The player is expected to try and avoid contact. If you don't think JT Compher tried to avoid contact on McElhinney, you're out to lunch.
Yeah, completely.
He could have easily ran straight down the middle on McElhinney because he got pushed and he has an argument.
Right, and players do that, right? They'll be like, oh no, Corey fucking Perry.
I've watched Nazem Kadri do the exact same thing.
Yep.
You would have, like, McElhinney would have been so messed up if Compher didn't try to get out of the way. You can say the severity of the contact is too great to claim that he tried to get out of the way enough, but that's where the contact from the Tampa defenseman comes in my opinion, where he gets pushed, Compher still tries to get out of the way. I think that's a wash.
Yeah. In
my opinion. I said that to you right away. I'm like, this one is like, that looks brutal, but to me, that's not goal interference. You can argue that same position a little bit with Ryan Graves, but again, like I said, Ryan Graves chose to stop in the crease.
Yeah.
JT Compher didn't.
That's why I wanted to ask you too, because I wanted to hear a referee's thoughts about it too, right?
But then we go to what I just said. This is why it's hard. This is why I don't blame a single fan for being pissed off about this crap.
Yeah.
Because the first one, he gets pushed in. The second one, he gets pushed in. No question. There is no question that happened on both of those.
Yeah.
Zero question. Mm-hmm. If that's a goal, that goal counts. Right? Like, I've watched it. I've watched guys get pushed into the goalie. The puck goes in. It counts because the defender pushed him in.
Right.
So why does he get a 2-minute goalie interference penalty for it?
Yeah.
Because if the puck went in and it was a goalie interference review, you'd be like, well, it was the defender's fault.
Yeah. Right?
And this is why it is incredibly brutal as a fan
how do we
to try and interpret this?
Yeah.
Because as a ref, I'm sitting there going, I can see it like, okay, so on goals, you can see it and you go, well, it's not fair to the goalie because he can't make the save, but it's not fair to the forward that got pushed into the goalie. So you have to count that. Well, why don't we use the same leniency on penalties? Oh, because guys get pissed off and fight each other, like what happened after Compher.
Yeah.
Right? Like, to me, the only reason JT Compher gets that call is game management. If they don't call that, because this game, you talked about it, Jared, Washington was a playoff atmosphere.
Yeah.
On Thursday. You want to talk about playoff atmosphere?
This was like Game 7 playoff
Holy
atmosphere.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like everybody was giving her
aside
hard.
From the like 10 minutes in the second when the Avs fell asleep and didn't play very good hockey, there was 50 minutes of like really good. Maybe the first period wasn't the greatest, but man, that third period had bite.
I mean, I've probably said this a few times, but holy crap, that was the most exciting period I've seen this year from the Avs for sure.
And there was like, one goal.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, if there was that much bite and they called that goal interference, if they didn't call that goal interference, oh my God.
And you know, that could be true, right? You never know. Maybe they're going to try and start running Frankie or something, right?
Right. There's so much more complexity to reffing a hockey game than people think. I've seen stuff where, like, I've seen fans bitch and moan about like linesmen getting involved in scrums like mid-play and stuff.
There's a few in that game too. Eh?
Yeah.
The linesmen like are like
the play
it
is
just
happening.
looks bad, and he's like almost taking down a player.
Yeah.
It's like
the play is happening, and you're just like, okay, get like guys, play hockey.
Yeah.
And like people bitch and moan, but then at the same time, like if somebody clocks a guy, you'll bitch and moan about that too.
Yeah.
So you just try, like, it's the small things, and you just whatever, the refs will take it and all this shit, but it's just like I don't know how the NHL can do this much. Like the the offside review is bad enough.
Yeah.
The black and white rule of offside has turned pretty gray with offside review.
Yeah.
To the point where people want to change offsides to make the review work better.
Yeah.
Right? Which is ridiculous.
Yeah, like the hovering
Yeah, the
barrier or whatever.
The vertical line,
Border,
right? Whatever you want to call it. But like that's people want to make review better by changing the rule that you're reviewing.
Right.
That is so dumb.
Yeah.
Goalie interference review is so far from black and white.
Yeah.
And this we've talked about it a million times, but it's so hard because their rulebook seems different.
Well, yeah, like and like every
same it's the same infraction, but it's called differently under review.
Night in, night out, different refs, yeah.
Right? Because if two guys are battling in front and the rest feel that the defender pushed the forward into the goalie, that goal's counting.
Yeah.
But we just watched 2 penalties for a guy getting pushed in get called as a penalty. So it's just like, how can it be a penalty and a goal?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
And I understand why people are frustrated and arguing on Twitter about whether or not it's goalie interference. I totally get it. But it's not that simple, and they try and make it that simple with goalie review, with interference review.
Yeah.
And it ain't that. And then on top of that, I saw it too, and it was funny, and it's like, on top of the fact that it's like, oh, if that would have been a goal review, then it would have counted, and there'd be no penalty. There would be no penalty. That's the other thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, you get a serious goalie interference that's missed on the ice. They don't call it a penalty ever because I don't know if they can. I don't know if it's in the rule book. Like, it's not done, and it's ridiculous because you watch like a pretty serious one where like, you know, they've happened, but like a guy legitimately takes the goalie's glove out of the way, like literally his stick on the glove takes it out of position. That's goalie interference in play. If you see it, that's goalie interference all day. If that you see it on camera though, never. And it's the same slippery slope as if you can award a penalty after watching a review for one thing, why can't you review everything? So I get why they don't implement the penalty minutes after review. I get it. I totally do.
Yeah.
But you got to start using the same rule book on both plays.
Yeah, it's got to be an even ground here.
It's obviously very hard in the aspect of confers because, well, I think both of them are very similar in the contact by the defenseman. I guess we kind of watched it. Was it Cole that smashed Buddy into Grubauer on that goal review from a couple games ago? Was that Washington?
Oh man,
everything blurs together.
Yeah.
But we all know the one we're talking about, the near the end of the period one, where the puck was in the net for sure, and the ref said, "Oh, the play was over, so it's not going to count."
Oh, right.
I don't remember which game that was.
Blew the whistle, the phantom whistle that I didn't even know happened.
Maybe Washington. I think it might. I think
it was Washington. You're probably right.
But again, it's the same thing. As a defender, you should never push a guy on your goalie. However, you should also not let him take a free shot at the front of the net.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So right, it's that gray area where like I don't know what to do, and most of the time it ends up guys getting smashed on the goalies.
Yeah.
But then you can't start calling that goalie interference either, because again, like I said, if you review it, if the puck does go in, and you review it for goalie interference, you're gonna say no, that's not goalie interference because he was pushed in.
Yeah. Right.
Which, another thing, refs are doing this in real time. That is a much more difficult play. Like the ref, I bet you the ref on the ice on Converse thought Converse smoked McElhinney in the face.
Well, yeah, especially with that acting, you know.
Right?
Yeah.
I bet that.
I know, and you know, yeah.
And I bet you with Ryan Graves, I bet you he wasn't really focused on how he hit McElhinney, he was probably focused on, he's in the crease, and then he hits the goalie. Right? It's very different in real time. It's a lot harder to watch. You're watching a lot of other things. There's 10 guys on the ice. There's 2 refs.
Yeah.
You're also trying to watch the puck if it goes in the net. You're trying to watch a bunch of other shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I do not blame anyone who argues goal interference. That's 50-50. It's different if you're arguing like some pretty bad ones and stuff, like some of Twitter does, the Twitter trolls.
Yeah.
But these ones, especially in this game, are definitely ones you can argue, because if you add in the fact that if the puck went in the net here, you get a completely different result, and that's the problem. And the NHL needs to fix it, 100%. 100%. If you're not going to give any leniency on pushes on goal interference reviews, you have to not give any lenience on in-game goal interference.
Right. And I'm definitely going to be putting both of those calls in my memory bank for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that too.
And I will be basing every other goalie interference call that is related to that kind of play.
Yep.
And I guarantee there will be different shit going on.
Guarantee there's different judgments.
And I'll go back and I'll be like, remember this? Well, we just got...
I remember.
We just didn't get the call and got scored on or something. You know?
Right.
Like,
and that's hockey. It's very hard to be like, well, what about this one? But I get it. That's the fan's job.
Yeah.
So, back to the actual game. The goals,
meat of it.
The goals that did happen. Another thing is, the Avs killed the penalty on Graves's goal interference.
Yep.
And then Comfer, he was part of 4 coincidental penalties, so there was no power play there.
Right, yeah, and I think it ended up being 5-on-5, right?
Yeah, because it was 4 penalties.
Yeah, that was the Graves one was just scary too, because it was last minute, and I'm like, oh no.
Here we go.
Oh no.
Here we go. Classic Avs.
Yeah.
But the Avs power play got to work fairly early.
They were good in this one.
Just about 5 minutes in.
Yeah.
Burakovsky.
Berkey boy.
I just picked him up in one of my hockey pools.
Nice.
Makes
Good call.
me happy.
Good call. He's been solid.
From Rantanen and MacKinnon.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of the power play adjustment on this one, because the start of this power play was garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Not typical garbage. This was just like forcing passes, forcing shots.
Which is what happens when they're not playing.
It wasn't
well.
typical, like normal garbage ass power play is don't get it in the zone, don't get any pressure, don't get any setup.
Yeah.
They were at least set up on this one. They just couldn't get shots through. They couldn't make chances.
Mm-hmm.
They ended up having the puck iced against them. They came back in the zone and set up some nice puck movement. Burakovsky gets it and rips it home.
Yeah. What a good play by Rantanen, chilling behind the net.
Man, so MacKinnon passes it down to Rantanen behind the net, and Rantanen's just like, nobody's going to come get me?
I got time here? Cool.
You guys are just going to leave me? And then he waits, and the defenseman finally bites. And as he bites, this is... anybody watch the Avs regularly or not? Because this is what the Avs do. They watched Rantanen. All 4 guys on the ice watched Rantanen. Burakovsky sneaks by 2 forwards.
Just like...
Wide open in the slot, taps it home.
Excuse me, coming through.
Yeah,
boom.
Like nobody's paying attention to their man. They're just, oh man, Rantanen's pretty good and he's got the puck behind the net. Huh.
Yeah.
The puck isn't dangerous behind the net until you stop covering people.
Yeah.
Then you're screwed.
And it's kind of interesting. The Avs have definitely like put that into the playbook on the power play, because you see it even more later in this game, that staying behind the net, you know? Especially with the skill guys on the top unit, that's probably not a bad idea.
Well,
because it draws attention, and especially when you got to go 180 to look somewhere else.
You're facing the wrong way.
Yeah.
Every time, right? Every time the puck goes behind the net, the defenseman or the defenders and the goalie are now facing the wrong way.
It's a big head on a swivel.
Yeah.
To cover all
right?
that.
It's a lot of work, but you got to do it. It's your job.
Yep.
And the least dangerous place for that puck to be on a power play is behind the net. If you do your job.
In the ozone, yeah.
If you do your job, it's 4-on-4. Just let the guy hang out. They should have just let Rantanen hang out.
And been covering.
Yeah, right? If all 4 guys are doing their job and covering people. Like, McKinnon's not going to one-time that pass if Rantanen passes it back to him.
Pretty awkward.
That'd be a really weird one-timer.
Yeah.
So if you're making sure Rantanen doesn't drive the front of the net, as the guy was doing, just standing there, and then the other 3 guys are on the other 3 guys, game, what is he going to do?
Yeah.
But when he bites and tries to go down and get him, that's when everything falls apart.
Yeah.
Great to see the patience from Rantanen, though, because some lesser skilled guys would hot potato that, and they just get rid of it.
Force it a little too much.
Like, I got too much time. Oh, my God. What am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
Right?
We're on the power play.
So the nice part about it is it's 1-0, like we kind of talked about. Avs get through the period, even with Graves' penalty at the end.
Mm-hmm.
They kill the rest of the penalty at the start of the second. But this is when things kind of go sideways.
Yeah. You could say that.
First thing, Berkey had a breakaway at the start of the period, like 2 minutes in or something.
Yeah.
Missed the net.
Yeah.
McElhinney was in a really good position. It would have been a really good shot. Mm-hmm. He didn't really have time to make a move, or he just didn't make a move. Good play, though. Sergachev totally flubbed it at the blue line, and then he just skates up and takes it away.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like... It looked like a breakaway that would result from a block shot. And then you're like, but he didn't shoot.
Yeah. Not as bad as Spezza, but...
Definitely not. Also not as bad as MacKinnon. But we'll get there.
I don't want to talk about that yet.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
The Killorn goal we kind of touched on. It was 5-on-5. The Avs puck watching.
It was such a mess.
Very similar to the Burakovsky goal, except for rather than behind the net, it was beside the net.
Yeah.
It was on the hash marks, kind of like on the boards, and Killorn sneaks down wide open. Frankie's got no chance.
Yeah, I got 2 players to blame on this one. First is Eric Johnson because of his terrible rush, and ends up the puck gets turned over, and he's dog ass tired, and he's skating back, and you can just tell he's all wobbly. Like, this dude is so tired. If anything, on that rush, if you're that tired already and you're going full tilt up a rush, get the puck deep, dude, and get the hell off.
Dump it in the corner.
That's number 1. Number 2 is Burakovsky, though. And I know we could blame pretty much the entire unit because nobody even knew that. Killorn. Nobody even knows he's there, which is so bad. And Burakovsky is that winger that could have covered that, and he's just like totally oblivious.
Nobody knows he's there, but it's somebody's man. It's not all 5 guys' man. It's one guy's man.
Yeah, and that's why I blame Berkey the most on this, because all of them see this play developing, and EJ was late to get back, and he's dog tired, and then Burakovsky does not adapt at all. And it was hard to watch that goal because it was just like, what the hell? Again?
Well, again, it's 5-on-5. If you're not standing beside someone, you're not doing your job.
Yeah, like you need to get a man.
What is so hard for this team to understand that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. They just get so puck focused. That's the huge weakness of the team defense.
Yeah.
It's just so puck focused sometimes.
Because again, right? Like, yeah, you can blame EJ for being tired and rushing when he maybe shouldn't have. But it's 9 times out of 10 when we're talking about easy goals against, it's forwards missing coverage.
Well, and it's just adaptation.
Getting a better defenseman ain't gonna fix that.
Oh, I also that too. Like, I can't believe how many people want the Avs to get another like veteran D-man. Like, dude,
who's he gonna replace?
Like, who are you looking for? That's what I'm wondering. Like, who are we looking for then? Who's this veteran D-man that's gonna magically change everything?
Every defenseman's been traded, so they're no longer on the board.
Right? It's like, yeah. I guess that was a day after. I just saw this all last night.
Yeah.
Like, we need a scoring winger. We need a defenseman. We need a new goalie. Like, holy Christ. What are we spending at the deadline here, boys? Like, chill.
All the future.
That's like the little Carey Price kind of talk. It's like, come on, boys. No, not happening.
Yeah, that articles, I think DNVR and Colorado Hockey Now had articles on Carey Price.
Yeah,
trade.
Adrian Dater got all over that right away one. I can't remember who was tweeting it, but he's like, I got to write an article about this.
So this is dumb.
Yeah, and all of the tweets are embedded in his article. I just loved it. I was like, yeah, there's no way that Sakic is thinking about that. Like, come on, dude.
So 16 seconds later, I guess it'd be less than 16 seconds, but 10 seconds later, your favorite guy.
Oh my god, dude!
With the
this is classic
play of the year here.
Play of the year. Play of the year.
This guy is killing it in the plus minus category, and this is why the plus minus category is stupid.
Well, yeah, it's flawed, right? It's a take with a grain of salt.
Yeah, but like this guy's leading the team.
Well, Graves is.
Well, yeah, but
he's second.
Like
I know, but this is what Cole does though. Like watch him. He does this once, twice a game. Nah, not even. Sometimes he's solid all the way through.
If you're gonna throw the puck up the boards, get it off the glass, man.
Or like don't bank it. Like, man, did you go to geometry class or something?
That is a picturesque one-timer pass.
Like he gives him it. He gives him it. Completely misses the winger, bounces around the winger. Perfectly for Buddy, who's a Gaunce or whatever, which is an ex-Avs player, freaking prospect or whatever.
Lovely.
God.
I didn't know that.
Like unassisted? No, assisted by Cole.
Yeah, definitely assisted.
Like, I was just like, yeah, this is classic. Like, how many times you see him make a bad breakout pass, it goes icing or is to giveaway? It happens way too much.
And then on top of that, Zadorov and Nieto, I think it was, just screen the shit out of freaking Frankie.
Yeah. Like
thanks, boys. Thanks.
Yeah. That
Really?
like minute of play, that's when I was like, oh man. But it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there.
It was pretty rough for the next like 5 or 6 minutes, which ended in who scored that one? Stammer, right?
Yeah, and that like this was one of the worst second periods this team has played.
I guess before Stamkos' goal, though, is when Rantanen gets hurt.
Exactly. That's what I was just about to say. Yeah. And then,
And then, and now, okay, the power play following Rantanen's injury is hot garbage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one was not good.
I can forgive that because you just lost one of the 3 best pieces on your power play.
He just set up that other goal, right?
So right, like I get it.
It's a big shakeup.
It's a big shakeup that you got to figure out in a second.
Instantly, yeah, exactly.
So I get it. Like it sucks. It happens. But again, another thing with all the power plays, the zone entries are so bad.
Yeah.
How many times do the Avs get stuck outside the blue line? They win or lose a draw or whatever. They lose puck possession. The puck gets iced. And they come in and they try and skate through 3 guys.
I mean, that's what it becomes sometimes is super
the puck in.
Yeah, it's predictability, man. And it's like the same play every time.
If they're going to stand you up at the blue line, dump it in. Go get it.
Yeah, get your feet moving like you're going to do that break in where you just get over the blue line first. Just dump it in. Have 2 guys going full blast. You're going to get the puck back.
You should be able to figure that out by the second power play of the night. That, okay, guys, we're just going to dump the puck in this time. Everybody get your feet moving. We'll outman them. We'll get the puck back.
Yeah, and that's what Tampa does a good job of mucking up that blue line on that entry. So
and they're not the only one though. It seems like what every team does against the Avs.
Yeah, they're watching the video, man. It's how predictable is it? It's always the same.
And
play.
I think it was on the 3rd power play of the night that there was almost the shorthanded breakaway.
Yeah,
from that same thing. Because again, right, you have your one guy drop the puck back, so you have 4 Avs on the blue line. You have 4 Lightning on the blue line. The only guy with speed is skating up the ice, and if that puck turns over, you guys are screwed.
Yeah. You're on your heels, and they're on their toes. So
right? So it's just like... It's the thing that's different. It used to be different. That little drop back thing, rush.
Right.
Used to be unique. Used to be like only a couple teams did it.
Like, what, 8-9 years ago?
And now everybody tries it. So now
everyone has some kind of variation of it.
So everybody knows how to play defense against it. You got to stop. You got to stop.
Time for a new play. It's like, that's why I like when some teams do that, but then they do the right before that skater, that quarterback skater, if you want to like call it that, running back, I guess. And then he passes it over to the boards.
Yeah.
I love that play. And then you can pass it back.
Yeah.
It's like a give and go right there. You gotta change it up.
You got to do something because it ain't working and it's driving me nuts.
Yeah. It's super frustrating to watch for sure. But yeah, you get to this third goal and we get to shit on someone else here now. And that's Big Z with the WTF, mate. What the F are you doing?
What did I say?
What are you doing?
What did I say like 5 minutes ago? The back of the net's not dangerous.
Oh, God. Yeah, like, this is the biggest, like, flyby, I don't give a shit about what's going on right here kind of moment for Big Z. It's just like, he just goes right by and just gives up Stammer. Like, no worries. I'm just behind the net on a super dangerous rush chance. Like,
yeah.
I'm behind the net.
It's a 2-on-1.
And then just kind of like falls over Stamkos after. Like, oh, come on, bro.
So it's a 2-on-1. Braden Point completely beats Zadorov on the pass. Drives the net. Zadorov does nothing. Like, literally nothing.
Like, more than nothing.
And then...
Negative.
And then just controller disconnects and just skates behind the net.
Pretty much. And he's just kind of sitting there, useless Big Z.
Now, okay, Frankie could have hooked him up with, like, finding the rebounds.
It's true enough.
But at the same time, if Zadorov stops in the post...
That's never happening.
The play's over. It's 2-1.
Yeah. Like, that play's not happening. All he has to do is stop at the post there. Stop at the crease there. That's all.
And I kind of brought it up last episode. These plays, these boneheaded, lazy plays, it seems, are coming from guys that shouldn't be making them. Mm-hmm. They're coming from Eric Johnson, they're coming from Big Z, and they're coming from Ian Cole.
Yeah. 3 of our best defensive defensemen.
If Cale Makar flies by, I'm not saying I'm happy, but I'm expecting it.
Well, not expecting, but it could happen, right?
Well, it's
more expectable. Is that a word? I don't
sure.
even know.
More expected, I believe. Expectable. Babcock list expectable. We're gonna have to have like a OBAM dictionary.
End of the year dictionary of all the stupid words we say.
The OBAM dictionary. But like Gerard, Graves, Makar, like they're the guys that's just the way they skate, right? Like the new NHL, like if you want to put it that way, is about speed and loops and like carrying your momentum, right?
Yeah, it's quick turnovers. And
when we first learned how to play hockey, you, me, Brett, stops and starts, right? Yeah. You remember those practices?
Oh yeah,
stops and starts.
Climb the mountain, bitch.
Right? That's not a thing. Like, I'm not saying those drills aren't a thing anymore, but that's not how you play hockey anymore. It's about like making big turns. It's about continuing momentum and keeping your speed.
Yeah.
Makar, Graves, and Gerard are those kind of players. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying Zadorov's not quick and all this stuff and agile and all that. But, like, those 3 that I named, Cole, Johnson, and Zadorov, like, your biggest asset is your big body and stopping where it's dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If Stamkos had to fight through Zadorov, it gives Frankie half a second to actually cover the puck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's just like...
Well, and like...
I said it kind of a few episodes ago where it's like the players that your defensive guys got to play like your defensive guys.
Yeah.
They got it. Like your defensemen got to play like they're supposed to play. And they're not. And Zadorov's had a rough month for sure.
He has. He's had some bloopers.
But like I said it for the first half of the year. Effort.
Yeah.
This is that.
It all comes down to effort and attention to those small details. And like that's not even, it's just so weird because when do you ever do that? Like who does that? Who goes behind the net on a rush?
Yeah.
In the D zone. Like
especially when you're the one defenseman on a 2-on-1.
Yeah, like it just blew my mind. I was like, "Come on, dude." Especially in we couldn't stop the bleeding in that period.
No.
For a point of time until
the end.
Master helps us out.
up until this play, and I mean this play kind of included, the Avs went from being a team that in the first period was playing good hockey as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Then they fell asleep for 16 seconds plus. Then this play happens. And after this play, actually before this play, and until like just before MacKinnon's goal, it was the Iron team plays. Everybody and their cat and dog wanted to make a play by themselves.
Yeah.
Everybody was one-on-one trying to make a move. There was no passing, like just nothing good coming of anything.
Which is like, yeah, complete opposite of the first period.
And it's just like, God, this doesn't work.
Yeah. And that happens a little bit when we get gripping our sticks a little tight. Everybody's like, oh, well, I'll just go and try and do this then. Well, no. It's not going to work, especially against a team like Tampa.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But then MacKinnon, and the best part about this play, McKinnon's finish is nice, but the pass by Landy.
It's more than it seems, right?
Landeskog draws two guys. That's the only reason they're open.
Yeah. And Landy actually had a good game, which was good to see. He started playing a lot better, especially because he got kind of bumped back up to the top line. But he started really playing aggressive and contained, you know?
Yeah.
And very, very smart plays by him.
So, yeah, nice pass from, I believe it was Makar, right?
Yeah.
Up to Landeskog. Landeskog draws two.
Oh, no, it was Johnson.
Oh, Johnson.
Yeah.
Landeskog draws two Lightning, and they kind of pick each other, fall over, whatever. Give MacKinnon just an hour inside the zone, which that's going to happen. If you give him that much time, he's burying it on any goalie.
Yeah.
Plus the fact that he has a little toe drag and changes the angle big time.
And there's a few layers of screen there.
That too.
Yeah.
But he's got,
nice.
He changes his angle and gives himself, 2 feet more room.
Oh, yeah. He widens the crap out of that angle.
And McElhinney doesn't even move. That's why that angle change worked so well. Because, again, like you said, the screen. So because the screen's there, McElhinney probably doesn't see the angle change or have time to react, and then it's in the net.
Yep.
It's nice. Classic Avs fashion, though. They try and give it back, right after that.
Yeah.
The Lightning have a huge chance where Frankie makes a big save. I believe it might have been Killorn, actually, again.
Yeah, honestly, again, in this second period, there was about at least 2, maybe 3 of those types of big scrambles where Frankie's down and almost out of the play, and everyone's freaking out, losing their minds, and it's like, oh my gosh, guys, just calm your nerves a bit. It was getting so scrambly.
Pick up your man and let Frankie make a save.
It was rough. That second period was rough.
It was wild.
It was.
But
it was eventful.
I need therapy.
Right.
I think we're going to have to petition the Hockey Podcast Network to get a health plan with majority of it to be therapy, mental health stuff.
Especially for the boys that are doing the Red Wings and stuff like that. We're losing our minds over here. I
guarantee you 10 or 15 podcast hosts would go ham on that healthcare coverage. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Especially after Rand got hurt, I was just I can't even.
I know. Right?
I wanted to turn my TV off.
Yeah.
I was just I can't. Right now.
It was really tough to watch. I was losing my focus on attention to anything. I was just oh my god, this is going downhill.
One thing I forgot to touch on was Donskoy at 8 minutes or so to go in that period almost got killed, and then couple of seconds in, no, I guess a couple minutes in to the third period, just about got crunched. He gets hit. He gets knocked down pretty good. But he definitely made it better than it could have been. But it's just okay, so Lindgren concusses him for, 25 days or something?
Something like
24 days. Knocks him out of hockey. Then in this one, it's just guys are lining him up on the trolley tracks, and you're just maybe maybe you got to do something different.
Yeah, maybe.
Because, like, I'm not saying it's obviously not every game, but there was those 2 plays where they were lining them up for big ones, and I was like, man, there's a reason it's you and not somebody else, I think.
Maybe.
And it's not that he's a dick. So
yeah.
Is it the fact that
himself...
maybe he's easier to hit for some reason? Like, I don't know. I don't have the answer, but it was just, I thought about it for a sec.
Interesting. Yeah. I wanted to say, too, before we get into the third period, the shots on goal after the second were 18-15 for Tampa. It was just so weird because it's not what I expected at all.
That's true.
And but it's just because of how messy that second period was, and just it was just interesting. I was like, 18-15, what?
Yeah, I never really looked into that because it didn't feel, and it's not lopsided by any stretch, but I did hear them say something about the Avs scoring on one of their 5 shots, and I was like, huh, and then I totally forgot about it. Gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so third period comes. Got a little bit of stuff. This is when 9 minutes in, Comfer's goal interference happens, the scrum, the gong show that was that scrum.
And, like, leading up to this and following this,
it is
probably since the other goaltender interference call, man, it is chippy, it's gritty, it's battle. Every inch of ice is a battle. Every board play is an intense battle, like, everywhere. It was... That's when the pace and, like, the atmosphere really just, like, picked up, and it was like, what are we watching right now? Like, is this the playoffs? Because that's like, the whole third period was awesome. Like, I had so much fun watching it.
I liked it a lot.
Oh, it was insane.
7 minutes roughly, or 7 minutes to go. So 13 minutes in is when they're on the power play, and not a power play goal, but basically a power play goal because they had.
Oh yeah, it just expired, didn't it?
Tons of momentum. Like they had tons of pressure, tons of momentum.
That's funny. I even put on PP. It just expired.
Yeah,
I think
it just
though,
expired a bit. So because with 12:43, the penalty would have ended at 12:29.
So yeah.
So basically on the power play.
But that was a good power play.
That was a good power play. And again, it's like I said, right? And obviously this one's really close, but like. You don't have to score on every power play, but you got to generate something.
Yeah. It's all about the pressure, right?
If you can hem them in for like a minute or two, a minute and a half, 2 minutes, whatever, and tire them out, and then later you can maybe
a couple shifts later, right? Even right, because you're tiring out those key defending defensemen.
Because there was another play. Actually, this was that one, right? Because they had it in the next power play. I believe, the last one of the game, they had that same kind of pressure, but there was that face-off with like 5 seconds left in the power play, so they got a line change in. And it's just like, it's good to keep the pressure on, but in the aspect of Nichushkin's goal is everybody's still tired on the ice, and that's partly why it happens.
Yeah.
Because they get the puck back, they move it around, but the nice thing that was this power play was even when they lost the puck, they were so quick to pressure.
Right.
They were so quick to help their teammates so they could outman them and get the puck back.
Right.
That eventually the puck gets to the point. Makar rips it. Looks like it's Makar's goal at first.
Yeah, I totally thought he had it too.
Because we're used to Makar going shelf.
Yeah.
So I thought it went blocker
from
shelf.
that exact spot.
From that exact spot.
He loves it.
But Val gets himself in the way, which thankfully because it was going chest on McElhinney.
Right.
Gets in the way. Gets his 12th of the year. Good for him.
Yeah.
He was a force in this one too.
Yeah.
He really showed himself well in this game.
He kind of shines a little bit in those physical gritty games too, right? Cuz he just kind of
which is what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And why Dallas drafted him where they drafted him, and he just never did that.
Yeah.
Right? So it's awesome to see if this is what Val's got for the rest of his career. Hell yeah.
Ace. Yeah.
Right? Pay the man.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows, right? We'll see. But yeah, like up and, going through this third period, like the Avs really fucking found their compete level. Like they really got it back, and like it just made it so interesting this third period and overtime.
The the hit
Yeah.
of the game.
Oh, man.
5.5
It's funny
minutes.
because I turned my page and that's the first thing.
5.5 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Nathan MacKinnon
That was
absolutely
awesome.
destroys Paquette.
The old
Or was it Palat?
Palat, yeah.
Palat.
The old reverse hit.
And I was waiting, and I didn't see it, and I didn't hear it, and I didn't hear the complaints on the Lightning broadcast either. But I was just waiting for the old elbow comments to come out because
Right.
it wasn't an elbow.
No.
But you hear it every time. The way MacKinnon explodes through the reverse hit, his elbow comes up after.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he hits him with his elbow. It just comes up after. And I was just waiting for, I elbowed him in the face.
Yeah, it's actually surprising. I didn't really see much on that. So good job, fans. Good job.
A+ to Twitter for that one. I'm sure it was there. I just don't follow you.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it was beautiful because he laid him out.
Yeah. And it's crazy
then-
because his face smacked his helmet.
Oh yeah.
That's brutal.
And
It's
then
just bad luck.
I don't even know who was going after MacKinnon, but that didn't end well. Sorelli, right? Yeah, because he took the penalty.
Yeah. Yeah, and Graves kind of comes in. I like it.
Yeah.
He's like, no, dude, you're not touching MacKinnon, bro.
What the hell was the tweet that I?
Oh, right. Yeah, that was a good one.
You're not going to disrespect Newfoundland like that.
Yeah.
Was that
Nova
No, that
Scotia.
was Nova Scotia. Sorry, that was the athletic guy. Why can't I think of his name right now?
Is it Ryan something? Something?
I just got to go to the notifications. Hold on, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. But yeah, Graves coming in. He's like, nah.
Ryan S. Clark.
I thought it was
Jeez
Ryan.
Louise. Yeah, great.
I liked that retweet. That was a solid one.
Oh, I loved it. Nathan MacKinnon was about to show hands, and then Ryan Graves was like, I will not let you disrespect the motherland, Nova Scotia, like that. Okay, not really. No, I think so. I think that happened.
Yeah, he probably said that, okay?
Yeah, I believe you. Direct quote from Ryan Graves himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing really happens on the power play. It was the chance for the Avs to really, take the game, finish the comeback. I liked the power play, but they didn't really get anything done.
Yeah.
What I wrote is great little plays on the forecheck. Landeskog had that one behind the net where the puck's up in the air, he grabs with his hand, and then he gets drilled, but then somehow stays on his feet and gloves the puck forward to himself and passes it off. Excellent play.
Yeah, there's a really good keep in by Makar too.
Yeah, Makar had a great keep in.
Yeah.
There was a couple, I can't remember, maybe Burakovsky had a good battle during that, but they couldn't get the puck
we just
set up
couldn't-
properly
yeah.
to get it on net. And a bit disappointing with 4 minutes to go, basically. 5 minutes to go.
Yeah. What I said though in my little notes, just like an overall, and it was a progression through the game, was that, and we just have to keep it this way. Just get that static power play out of here. I don't want to see people standing around ever, because you look at this, especially top power play unit, when everybody's cycling and moving around, it is crazy. It must be scary for a lot of teams. But then once we just park ourselves on a wing or something, and we got our point man just kind of parked on the back right in the middle or something, it's garbage. We've seen so many garbage power plays like that, so it was just good to see everybody moving around, creating different chances,
That takes us to overtime for the most part. Little stuff at the end.
Crazy back and forth and just exciting end of the period, and yeah.
Get to overtime. I wouldn't say the Avs had any good chances.
There's a
aside
couple
from Gerard's wide open chance in front of the net.
Yeah, Gerard and Berkey were kind of trying to create some stuff, but
See, the problem with the Avs overtime was there was a lot of that crisscrossing or scissoring action.
God, we didn't have to listen to that.
There was a lot of scissoring action going on in the zone, but it was all up at the top of the zone around the blue line.
Yeah,
and they weren't driving anything to the net, and nothing was coming of it, and it was just
right
doing circles and eventually giving the puck to Tampa, and it was just like, this isn't gonna do anything.
Yeah, what I felt like you should do in that situation, especially the Avs, we know all the speed that we have, and especially just out there in that play. Gerard and Burakovsky, both great skaters. Why not there's nothing happening. Like they're playing that top circle. You guys are cycling in between, circle and blue line. Why not just head back out? We see it all the time. Teams do it all the time.
Tampa did it.
You still have the puck. Take it out. Get a big rush. Get some speed going or something.
Tampa did it twice, I think.
Right. Like, change it up. It's not working. You're just kind of going back and forth and wasting time here. Like,
there was a couple of picks, quote unquote, where on the Girard chance, I can't remember who it was, but somebody ran right into Stamkos.
Right.
They were pretty rattled about it on the Lightning broadcast.
Yeah, you should probably be careful with that too, right?
It's definitely something that could get called, but at the same time,
it's pretty good.
It's one guy's looking one way. Well, actually, sorry. They're both looking the same way. They're both staring at the puck, and you just skate into them.
Yeah.
You're going to, if it happens consistently, refs are going to catch on, and you're going to get called for that. I don't think they're obvious enough to get called. Obviously, they weren't last night. But if you do it too many times, it's going to happen. And B, if that puck goes in with Girard, that is all that's being talked about today.
Yeah.
Right? That's the other question, right? Mm-hmm. Or the other statement, I guess. It's just, I don't believe, and there's a very good chance it was legit. Like, maybe he did pick him on purpose. It's very easy to skate. Okay, that guy's going to be there. I'm going to skate there and look the other way.
Yeah, just kind of,
And then you're going to get away with it. Guys don't want to get away with penalties.
Yeah.
All the time.
Oh, yeah.
That's one way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just, again, it was the only way the Avs created anything in overtime. Right? And it was frustrating because you'd think a team with the talent they have, but again, they're missing Rantanen, right? So it's like,
yeah,
I would assume it would have been Makar, Rantanen, and MacKinnon on for the start of overtime.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is you'd think, I don't know how hard it would be to adjust like during a game kind of on the fly, but I'm sure that they kind of have set three-man lines,
I'm
right?
Sure they practice it.
Yeah.
And then you have McKinnon's beautiful turnover where he dangles himself out of room. Maybe he's holding the stick too tight or whatever, but he just skates himself into his, who was that?
Kucherov's.
Yeah, it was Kucherov's feet. And Kucherov goes end-to-end and 5-hole and buries. And
it's unfortunate too because MacKinnon is so tired at that point. Because if that's a fresh MacKinnon, he's catching his ass.
Probably.
But he is so tired, and then he just, you don't see MacKinnon make plays like that very often, and it sucks that that's in overtime and that's how we lose.
Yeah.
I give him a little bit of leeway because we all know how freaking amazing he's been for the Avalanche.
He's trying something. And he's done enough good that you can stomach some of these.
Yeah. It hurts, though.
It hurts. It sucks that the Avs give Tampa their 11th straight win on that, though, for sure.
Yeah.
But again, like we started the episode, it's on paper a point against the Lightning, especially after 10 straight wins, I'll take.
Yeah.
How they got there, though, not happy.
Yeah.
They have to figure it out.
Well, it's got to turn around now. Like, we need a win next game. We can't be losing like 4 in a row here or something,
So, including the game that's going to be before you guys listen to this on Thursday, the Avs have the Islanders, the Ducks, and the Kings in the next, 2 more days. They've got the Ducks and the Kings, and then Wednesday they had the Islanders. So that's 3 teams in the next 4 days. The Islanders are not the team they were when the Avs played them last time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They are struggling.
Yeah. Got to really put the pedal to the metal against them and just pressure.
They are 5-4-1 in their last 10. I believe when we ran into them last time, they were like 7-2-1 or something.
Yeah, they were killing it.
And that was when Varlamov went legend and shut the Avs out. And
Bastard.
Do not be surprised if he plays or
right.
played. And do not be surprised if he crushed it. That being said, the Avs have to be better. They have to get traffic. They have to do exactly what they did in parts of that Tampa Bay game where they were patient on power plays, but creative. 5-on-5, you get traffic, you cause hell for the goalie. If you got to run Varlamov, run him.
Comfort? Where you at?
But that being said, like when it comes to the Anaheim Ducks and the LA Kings, again, they shouldn't have lost the game on Saturday to the Kings. They better not lose the game on Saturday against the Kings this weekend.
No excuse with ice at this point, Can't use any excuses.
There has to be 4 points in the bank from Friday, Saturday when it comes to Sunday's game.
100%.
The problem with that is who's playing goal. Is it Frankie back-to-back? That'd be a big week for Frankie.
That's true.
4 games in 6 days.
That is very, very true.
So does that mean...
is it Hunter Miska?
Yeah, Hunter Miska. Thank you. Martin Kaut is in my brain because he got called up, and I'm like, that's not a goalie.
Yeah.
Right, so it's a difficult decision because obviously Frankie's played against the Islanders, I would guess.
I would assume, yeah.
So it's 3 beatable teams for sure. You have to beat the Islanders at this point. You can't go lose 4 in a row here.
I mean, we need like 4 or 5 points out of this.
Yeah.
100%. And the thing is, too, right? It's like the timing, at least, has kind of worked out because St. Louis is kind of flubbing as well right now. But Dallas is right there, and they're playing some good hockey right now. This is the time. Like, of course, it would have been the time like the last 2 weeks while St. Louis is shit in the bed, but...
The Avs are 1 point behind the lead or the central lead because of the overtime loss against the Lightning. So they still have a game in hand. So technically speaking, they could still be leading after that game in hand comes off the board.
Mm-hmm.
But I would not be surprised if that game in hand comes off the board on Saturday.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the schedule or anything.
3 games in 4 days. That's probably what's happening.
Right.
So... if you don't win the game, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have a game in hand if you're not going to win it.
Right.
Right? It doesn't. I mean,
they're imaginary points, realistically.
Exactly. It's a stupid way to put it, but that's as simple as it is.
Yeah.
So until then, we will pray for Mikko Rantanen. We'll pray for Philippe Grubauer.
Yes.
And we will pray for Nazem Kadri. And we will pray for depth scoring to return, and every single Colorado Eagle that gets called up, which has been plenty lately, comes up and crushes, including Martin Kaut.
Yeah. Yeah, Tynan looked okay in that game.
Tynan was fine.
Yeah. But yeah, the struggle is real.
We will catch you on Monday.
Now a quick word from our sponsors.
Last but not least today, we have a fantastic deal from Reebok. Reebok is offering an extra 50% off if you use the code GETDOWN, no spaces. This would be a perfect time to get yourself some new workout gear, maybe some UFC fight merch. Whatever you're looking for, this code will save you some money. Also, same as with Puffy and NHL Shop. If you shop through our link, which we will tweet after the episode, you can help support us and the Hockey Podcast Network. Again, thanks for tuning in to our growing network of podcasts, and we hope you enjoy our episode. Don't forget to visit us on Twitter at Offside by a Mile to join our conversation and have your voice heard. Also, check out the rest of the Hockey Podcast Network on Twitter at HockeyPodNet and thehockeypodcastnetwork.com. You can listen to the podcast there or anywhere you get your podcasts from. The biggest thing you can do to support us is by going to iTunes or Apple Podcasts and giving us a 5-star rating. Also, if you're looking to donate to the network, visit the Hockey Podcast Network's Patreon page. All donations go straight to the podcast host. Thanks, and see you next episode.
You're listening to the Hockey Podcast Network on Twitter at HockeyPodNet. New episodes every Monday and Thursday. Download at thehockeypodcastnetwork.com or wherever you get your podcasts from.